You want to say God bless afternoon, reaching out to each and everyone out there, wherever you are. Yes, it's Vibes Up Radio on the Monday afternoon. Talk time with Sharmin every Monday evening from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I don't know what's in your bowl, but I know fire's in mine. I don't know what's in your bowl, but I know fire's in mine. I feel like Jeremiah. I feel like Jeremiah. Oh, fire.
Good evening, Pastor Gil.
In my bowl. Let me hear you say fire, fire in my bowl.
I want to say God bless evening, reaching out to those of you that's on my live stream on Facebook.
In my bowl, fire.
Yeah, you can download the Vibes Up Radio app also.
All evil
Those of you that's on Sharmin live feed right now
behind.
on the Facebook.
Live for God and be right. Keep on the fire in line. You have to fight, brave against all evil. Never run on evil and behind. If you live for God and be right, keep on the fire in line. Again. Fight, brave against all evil. Never run on evil and behind. If you live for God and be right, keep on the fire.
Yes, we have a pretty interesting discussion that's gonna happen just now. You don't want to miss it. Don't want to miss it. Call somebody, tell somebody, tune in, log on. VibesUpRadio.com. Get the app, download the app.
I just feel like fire shall in my bones. Glory, hallelujah. I feel like fire shall. Oh, there was a time on earth when in the book of heaven, yeah, you see, an old account was standing. Oh, it's sealed unforgiven, and my name was on the very top, and many things below. But I went unto the keeper, and I settled it long ago.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Good evening, Miss Shanet, all the way over there in Guyana.
When I looked ahead,
All the Sophia people.
plain and woe, I just went unto the keeper, and I settled it
Miss Cherise.
long ago.
Yeah, that's right. It was a real long time ago. It was set. Once again, I want to say good evening to each and every one of you out there, wherever you are this evening. This is Vibes Up Radio. Want to say God bless evening, reaching out also to the Vibes Up family, to the captain, to Boss Lady, and to all the DJs of Vibes Up Radio. Good evening, Miss Sharmin, and how are you today?
Good Good
Yeah.
evening, Pastor Peter, and um, I've had better days, but I'm here. I'm great.
Well, praise the Lord because we are both here. I want to make something clear for all of our listeners out there because I went through my inbox and I counted about 117 or so messages in my inbox. I just want to let you know that this is not a gospel show, okay? This is not what you are accustomed, that you were accustomed of, that I used to do. Don't think that I'm going away from what I used to do. I'm not going away from what I used to do. But this show is called Talk Time with Sharmin. And what we do here is that we bring topics to the forefront of real life situation, real life issue that we struggle with as a people every day. There are some things that are not spoken of in your home, in your schools, in your community, or whatever. And we talk about those things and we bring you information that you will have solution to these problems that we face. So that's what the show is all about. All right. So don't get it twisted. You have your, if you wanna listen, that's your choice. If you don't wanna listen, that's your choice. If you need prayer, as a pastor, I will pray for you. All you gotta do is put your request in, and I will pray for you. We will do that. But it's not a gospel show to say yes, we play gospel music, but we discuss the matters that at hand, things that are important in everyday life. Okay? And today is one of those days that we will be talking about something that is very, very, very serious in women, basically, I would say. Mainly women, because I've never heard of a man with it. But, I mean, I've lost a few family members to cancer, different types of cancer. And I have family member currently, right now, that is suffering with similar types of cancer. So, it's a very touching subject, and it will be educational for those of you, because sometimes we might feel a little stomach pain, and we might feel this and we might feel that, and we may ignore it. Back home we go with our old remedy, go drink some garlic tea, go do this, go do that. But we don't go see the doctor. We don't know what's going on until it's too late. So we're gonna be discussing that. Sharmin, we welcome you back again. Like if you went somewhere. But I just jumped into the just
That's
to clear the
okay.
air.
That's
And
okay.
so what are we discussing today?
So tonight, we're discussing the silent killer of women. It's called the silent killer.
Okay.
It's ovarian cancer. And when I say ovarian cancer, I'm also speaking about fallopian tube cancer, because fallopian tube cancer is so rare,
Right.
that it's grouped with ovarian cancer. It's not something that we talk about. We have all these forums and discussions about breast cancer, but ovarian cancer is one of the leading gynecological cancers in women, and 20 plus thousand of women are diagnosed with ovarian cancer annually, and it is the 9th leading cause of death for cancer in women. It's for cancer overall, it's 9th. And yet it is not something that we talk about. And we will discuss the symptoms, the signs, treatment. I have two of my OVAC sisters that are going to call in tonight. and share their stories. Because, of course, a few women survive ovarian cancer.
Right.
Most times when it is diagnosed, it's too late.
Wow.
You know, as we go through the night, I'll share some stories of women that I've met that that lost their battle to ovarian cancer. And you know, sometimes you read some of the literature, and the literature is telling you that women are diagnosed 63 and older, 60 and older. But I've met women that were in their 20s, in their early 30s, that were diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
But if I'm not lying, I think I saw something today with the ages from 0 to 60 something, because it was saying that over 20,000 people per year, and this, I guess this is in the US, because I'm no big expert in that, but I was just browsing through and I saw that, and I was like, wow, this is a very alarming stat, because I mean, you know, you see people every day, you don't know what they're going through. You know, you might see someone and you see someone, you know, just slouch over in a little pain, you know, because I was looking like, what are some of the symptoms, you know, and you might see somebody just bend over with a little pain or whatever, and thinking that it's nothing, you know, but you never know.
Pastor Peter, 1 in 75 women are diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and 1 in 100 might die.
Wow.
When this type of cancer is found, it has already, most times, it was already metastasized, meaning that it already spread to other areas. It is not a cancer, it's called a silent killer, because the signs and the symptoms are like normal signs and symptoms that women experience.
Right.
A common one is bloating. You know, and especially women from the Caribbean, the bloating is like, oh, I ate whatever. Maybe they might have eaten broccoli or cabbage or something, some gaseous food, and they may say, okay, I'm bloating because of what I ate.
Right.
But the bloating continues, and they're ignoring it. Frequent urination, swollen abdomen, and these are common things that women might relate with PMS. Right? Problems eating, and you're feeling full after your meal. Constipation, diarrhea, those are common things that we experience. Nausea, pelvic pain or pressure, pain anywhere in the abdomen, vaginal bleeding, back pain, painful sex, weight loss, and changes in menstruation. These are the signs of ovarian cancer. Now, which woman are going to experience some of these signs and say, okay, I need to go to the doctor?
Right, they're going to look at it like a normal something, because I mean, we see women every day, and we know that, you know, most of these signs, sometimes they go through, but they don't go to the doctor for that. Like they said, you know, back home, we quick to say, oh, go drink some garlic tea, or go take this, or go eat, probably you didn't eat, or
it's gas.
Like that.
Not even with gas. The first thing we say, oh, it's gas. I have gas pains because I ate late, or I didn't eat properly, something to that effect. We self-diagnose, so to say. And it's dangerous for us. And one thing that I can say is that there are no tests for ovarian cancer unless you're getting, which I'll discuss later,
Right.
a CA125, and that's a blood test, or you have get a sonogram of the abdomen. And a lot of women would not go to their gynecologist and request a sonogram of the abdomen.
Wow.
They may think that doing their regular pap smear is enough.
Right.
But remember, a pap smear takes the culture from the cervix.
Right.
So it can detect cervical cancer. But there are so many other gynecological cancers, like the cervical cancer, uterine cancer, fallopian tube cancer, ovarian cancer. And those are parts of all of the entire reproductive system.
Right. Wow. Folks, if you just joined us, we are talking today, it's Talk Time with Sharmin on Vibes Up Radio. Every Monday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And today's discussion, we are talking about ovarian cancer and also, what do you call it?
Fallopian tube.
Fallopian tube. You know, some of you might be listening, you might want to say, well, what does that have to do with me? I think you better take a close listen, because it may have everything to do with you, because you might be going through some of the symptoms and you taking it for granted and you don't even know. So go get yourself checked out, because it's... All right, let's see who we got on the line.
Good evening. Welcome to Talk Time with Sharmin.
Hi, Sharmin. This is O'Tree.
Hi, O'Trees, and thank you for calling. Now, let me just introduce you to my my listeners. Earlier, I told you that I'll have two of my OVAC sisters calling in, and O'Trees is one of my OVAC sisters, and she will share her experience with. Well, when I say OVAC, it means ovarian cancer.
Obviously.
And Latrice, I just want to thank you for calling in. Otrice, can you tell me your experience with OVAC?
Oh, yes. You want me to start from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. So I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer when I was 27 years old. I had to have exploratory surgery in order to find it. I had many tests done that did not detect ovarian cancer. And so he just had to go in and see what was going on. I was having pain during my menstrual cycle. And I had been to the doctor for like 10 years for this. And eventually went to that doctor, and he found I had stage 1 ovarian cancer at 27 years old. So at 28, I had my right ovary removed, and I started my first chemo treatment. And it was really, really hard. I always tell people that I'm healed from chemo because it was so bad. It made me really, really sick. So anyway, I went through 3 months of chemo. I did not even tell my family because I just did not want them to worry about me. I just wanted it to be over. I thought it was going to be 3 months of chemo, then it was going to be over. But that wasn't the situation. In my 6-month follow-up, things didn't look right with my left ovary. So I had to have a full hysterectomy and go through another 6 months of chemo.
What age did you have the total hysterectomy?
I was 29.
That's 2 years after your diagnosis.
Yes.
Wow. Did I heard you say that you've been to the doctor like 10 years or something like that before it was detected?
Yes, 10 years. I was going, complaining about the same thing, hurting, bloating. My menstrual cycle was just getting really, really bad, and they just couldn't find anything. They did ultrasound. They kept So luckily, I ended up moving from Georgia to North Carolina, and I tried a different doctor. And I guess it's just protocol to go through pain medicine and different tests because we tried the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually told him that I would not come back if he offered me pain medicine. And so that's how I ended up having the surgery for him to go in and see what was going on because he told me that was the only way for him to find out.
Wow. So they cannot find this out like with a CAT scan or some sort of what do you call it, the
sonogram.
Sonogram.
They could, but the doctor has to suspect, and remember the doctor would have to justify why he is referring you for a CAT scan.
Right.
So he would not send you for a CAT scan until he's sure that he's going to find something. But Otrice, I want to ask you a question. What were some of the common signs that you have or the symptoms that you have?
You know, Sharmin, really, and this is what the doctor told me, the symptoms that I had, they told me that they were not symptoms of ovarian cancer. I just had cramping from cycles, which happens.
Mm-hmm.
They started to get heavier and heavier as, time went on, and I would get really bloated, and I would hurt really bad. I mean, just like I had surgery on my abdomen. I would hurt really bad. But those were the only symptoms I had.
And I shared that earlier because the symptoms of ovarian cancer are common symptoms that women experience during their menstrual cycle, like bloating, and it can be disguised as PMS.
Right.
PMS symptoms, right, Otrice?
Yes, that's correct.
How was your experience with chemo? Before I continue, at age 27, being told that you have ovarian cancer, what went through your mind and how did that make you feel?
Well, the day he told me, I actually got a call at work on a Friday. After he went in to take a look around, I got a call at work on Friday, and she told me that I had to come in on Monday because something came back abnormal in my pathology report. And I was scared. I didn't know what that meant. I was looking up everything. I was young. And say the truth, Sharmin, and I laugh about this now. I actually thought he was going to tell me I had HIV or something. I had no idea what they were going to tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And so she made my appointment. I hung up the phone with her, but I was so scared that I had to call her back. I said, you cannot make me wait over the weekend and worry about this. So she read it to me, and she called out words like carcinoma and all these different things, but I didn't know what it meant. And so when I went in and the doctor looked at me, he was real blunt, straight, to the point, and he just said, I'm sorry, it's cancer. You have stage 1 ovarian cancer. And I was numb because I heard of cancer before. I had a son who passed away with leukemia at the age of 1. So I had gone through that with him. I saw him go through the chemo, but I still didn't know what it meant at the time. So I was just very numb and just clueless at the time until I actually started my treatment.
And how was your experience with chemo?
It was really hard. It was really rough. Chemo is very hard on your body. Your appearance changed. Oh my gosh, you're just nauseated from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep. It's just it changed you from the inside out. It's a very hard treatment. And like I said, I didn't even want to tell my family. I just wanted to get through it. But I was so sick. After the first initial treatment, I would be sick, in the bed sick for like 7 days before I could even get up and take care of myself or attempt to eat.
Wow.
And did you eventually tell your family?
I did. After my last chemo treatment, it feel a little normal where I wanted to get out. I remember it was a beautiful day, and I finally was going to get out and go shopping, and I was talking to my mom on the phone, and I told her about it then. And I told her it made me so sick, but it was all over with, and, I was finally able to talk to her, but I didn't want to talk to her until it was over.
So you went through your 6 cycles of chemo without the support of your family or without disclosing to your family?
Wow.
Right? Well, the first time it was only 3.
Okay.
3 cycles the first time. And yes, I didn't know what this said. I thought I was going to get my medicine, and it, was over with. It was every 21 days.
Wow.
And I thought I was going to get my medicine, and it was over with. But, the chemo was, was a little different than that.
No, for both of you, is there any insurance that cover something like this?
Yes. All your insurance, as long as you have medical coverage, your insurance is going to cover it.
Because I know it can be very costly.
Yeah, but your medical insurance would cover that.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Otrice, do you want to share anything else with us?
Just that, if anybody is, listening and going through this right now, to just keep fighting. It's hard, and I just hope they have a lot, support to get them through this. There's, different support groups out there, just like ours, Sharmin, that's out there to help. But I just want to tell the women to listen to your body. Don't, give up. Don't let the doctors turn you away. I don't care if you have to go in and have a surgery just for them to love you, for them to say it's nothing, but just listen to your body.
And how long have you been, how can I put it? How old is your cancerversary?
I am 6 years cancer-free.
Okay.
Wow. Thank God.
Thank God, yeah.
Well, Otrice, thank you. You see, it was not that hard.
And no, I thank you for this opportunity. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, and if, let's say there are women out there and they're afraid, what would be your encouragement to them?
If they're afraid and going through this? Is that your question?
Yes.
Yeah. Just know that you're not alone. Reach out to those support groups. Keep fighting. Educate yourself. The more you know, the better you'll feel about this. The better you can take care of yourself. Just educate yourself. Join those support groups and keep fighting.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Otrice.
You're welcome.
Yep, thank you. You have a blessed day, okay?
But thanks to you too.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yes, folks, it's Talk Time with Sharmin, Vibes Up Radio on the Monday afternoon, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Monday. We are here. Today's discussion is on ovarian cancer and fallopian tubes. Boy, I tell you, man, to all you young females out there that listening, as the young lady say, listen to your body. Just don't ignore it. Don't just take it for an ordinary symptom, just get yourself checked out. Why sometimes we are too afraid of doctors, we need to go get checked out because you never know what's going on with your body, They have this saying to say what you don't know won't hurt you. That's a lie. What you don't know will hurt you. Because if you know about it, you can do something about it, and I encourage you to just go get yourself checked out. You've been suffering some of these symptoms. As Sharmin said, it's like a normal menstrual cycle symptoms that you females get. I wouldn't know anything about that, but But you guys know what we're talking about, you know. So I encourage you to go get yourself checked out. You know, while we're talking to, we'll let the phone lines remain open.
Yes.
718-342-0510 is the number. So if you want to join in, if you want to share, if you got any questions or whatever, you can give us a call at 718-342-0510. That's 718-342-0510.
You know, Pastor Peter,
Yes.
I think the youngest person that I met with OVAC was, I think she was 21.
21?
Yes. And here is a 21-year-old woman going to the doctor and being told you have ovarian cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And because of her age, they did not want to perform the total hysterectomy.
Right.
But eventually, by age 25, she lost her reproductive system.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of women would say, well, I don't need to worry about that.
Right.
And that is a myth. Some of us say, well, I don't have it in my family.
Mm-hmm.
That is a myth.
Right.
And we embrace these myths at the expense of our bodies.
Right.
So I just want to encourage, despite how old you are, yeah.
You know, it's a very sad thing though, Sharmin, because I've looked up. That's why I asked about the insurance, because I've seen some foundation that are collecting donation, you know, and they're saying that for a treatment for, you know, for the process of whatever can cause about $500,000, which is $500,000. You know, many families cannot afford that. So if you don't have the insurance, and it doesn't, young people, this is why young ladies, this is why I'm going to encourage you to go get yourself checked out, because you know what, it also have a psychological effect on yourself and on your family. You know, the young lady we just spoke to, she didn't tell her family, but you know what, she had to bear that burden all alone. But now when your family is involved, now they're gonna drop their jobs and whatever they have, and they're gonna have to, you know, come with you because you gotta go through all the treatments and whatever. Now they don't have an income coming in. You know, there's stress coming on top of stress. You know, and you might be going through whatever you're going through, yet you telling them, oh, okay, it's all right, but it's not all right. So it's good to go get yourself checked out. If they can catch it at an early stage and they can do something about it. I know many young ladies' dreams out there is to have children. Get married, have children. And if you end up with ovarian cancer where you're going to have to lose your reproductive system, how are you going to have kids? You know, so it's better for you to start from early. Go to your annual checkups.
But Pastor Peter, the annual checkups.
Yeah, I just came back to me what a young lady said. She
You know,
10
because
months.
like I think it's Dr. Edward Tanner who said that it's no longer the silent killer because it whispers.
Right.
It is the disease that whispers to us, and the whispers come in. It comes as a camouflage with PMS, like Otrice just shared.
Right.
With pains and changes in her menstrual cycle.
Right.
And of course the bloating and the cramping. And these are common signs of PMS or menstrual that goes along with the menstrual cycle. Now, as a young lady, I remember when I got my menstrual cycle, I'll be on the floor for like a day or two. And of course you're in Guyana and no one is paying attention to that. It's normal.
Right.
Now, I started to have nausea and vomiting. the first time it happened in Guyana, and I'm like, okay, because I'm here. I went on vacation, I think in 2007, 2008, and I said, you know, I'm not eating as on time, so I'm getting these gas pains. But it, mind you, because of my experience with my menstrual cycle as a young lady, as an adolescent,
Right.
I have an extremely high tolerance for pain.
Right.
So I endured it and I let it go. When I came back to the US, one night I'm leaving work and the pain, it's like I got stabbed in my abdomen and I doubled over, and one of my staff came and he said, "Are you okay?" I said, "I just got this sudden pain." And he went to the store and he got me a cup of tea. But behind my head, it was a pain that I never experienced.
Right.
So I went home and I called. At that time, I think I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I called the on-call nurse, and she said, "Go to the ER immediately." Of course, I didn't go. But I promised myself and my sister that the next time I get that pain, I am going to go to the ER. So on January 9th, 2010, Saturday morning, I got up, started to clean up, made myself breakfast. I used to make myself green banana and smoked herring for breakfast. And when I finished eating, and I had the pain, and it was accompanied with nausea, and I started to vomit. And those are the symptoms I get when I have gas.
Right.
So I called my sister. I said, "The pain is back. I'm calling 911." My mom came on the phone and she said, "Tell them to take you to downstate." I called 911. Pastor Peter, I crawled all fours to my door because, of course, I live alone. And it was in the midst of winter.
Wow.
And I had to leave the door open, and I have garbage bags because I'm vomiting. The EMS came, the boss came, and he actually went into my closet and got me clothed. And so they took me to downstate, and this is around, I would say, 12 o'clock. They did all these tests, and then at midnight, they said we have to do an exploratory surgery, just as O3 shared. And they did. I agreed to the exploratory surgery.
Right.
During after 6 hours, I woke up. And I saw my sister. I opened my eyes, and I saw my sister. And she said they found cancer, and you had a total hysterectomy. Pastor Peter, I think I got unconscious immediately.
Wow.
And because when I saw my sister coming towards me, she looked aged. And I'm like, oh my God, only a month ago, my job was offering us AFLAC for cancer. And I took the hospital indemnity, but I said, oh, cancer is not in my family, so I'm not taking that. Right. And here I am 2 months later being diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
Jeez.
So I'm in downstate hospital. I remembered when I got into the room, I'm looking at the television, and there was the earthquake in Haiti. After I was discharged, they did the BRCA 1 and 2, which I'll get into after like the last hour to tell women what to do.
Right.
And the BRCA test is a gene test. Well, here I am now with this diagnosis. And I always tell people cancer is a family disease. And when I say family, you don't go through it alone because your family is there with you. You need them. I went home. I went at my sister. The way that I cope, I pick up the phone and I call everyone I knew. And told them about it.
Right.
Mind you, this is January 9th. In December, Pastor Peter, I had my GYN annual checkup. My pap smear was good. So in my head, I am fine.
Right.
Had no idea that there is, and what they, when, let me retract, they found the cancer in my fallopian tube.
What?
And it's one of the rarest gynecological cancers. And it was stage 1, but the grade of cancer was an aggressive cancer. And they call it serious cancer. SERROUS. And I remember the doctor saying that of course I have to get chemo. A year before that, I cut off my locks. And so I was sporting short hair.
Right.
When they scheduled me for chemo, and Pastor Peter, it was my mother, my sister, and myself went to downstate chemo center. When I walked in there, I almost puked at the condition of that chemo center. And I looked at my sister and I said, I can't do this. And I ran in the bathroom. When I saw the condition of the bathroom, I said, we have to leave. And I went to New York Methodist Hospital. Well, one of the things that you have to know, that the longer you take after the surgery to start chemo, it's more dangerous. So I am going around trying to, I don't want to be at downstate because of the condition. I went to New York Methodist. I had my chemo scheduled, but then I was referred to a friend, and she got me into Memorial Sloan Kettering.
Oh, okay.
When I went to Memorial Sloan Kettering, the gynecologist said to me, when he read the paperwork, because I lost so much blood in that 6 hours of surgery, there is something that they call debunking, where they check the abdomen to see if the cancer was spread. They were unable to do that because of my blood loss.
Right.
So he said, we can do the chemo, but we don't know. They did not even check my lymph nodes. So I opted for another surgery. This is in March. So that they can check to see if it spread. Right. Because I didn't want to walk around wondering if it spread. Right. So I opted for another surgery, which was supposed to be a laparoscopic surgery. However, because of scar tissues, I had to get, the regular surgery.
Right.
And fortunately, it did not spread to my lymph nodes. It did not spread to the other parts of my my abdomen. And they put a port in my, just in case I needed chemo, because for women with ovarian and fallopian tube cancer, they put a port under your breast so that they could feed the chemotherapy in the cavity of your abdomen. Well, because it didn't spread, I started my chemo. Was out of work for 5 months. And after my first cycle of chemo, I had my first treatment, I had to go back to work.
Wow. Let me ask you this because I know some of our listeners out there may hear about chemo and they don't know what is chemo. What is chemo?
Well, chemotherapy is this chemical that they created to fight cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see it, that might be Susie.
All right, let's take a call. Good evening, caller. You're live with Sharmin.
Hi, I'm Susie. I'm from Sharmin's Ovarian Cancer Group.
Hi, Susie. Thank you for calling. I'm very emotional. This is the first time I actually spoke about this publicly. So
you gotta help her. You gotta help her out here, Susie. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she basically wants you to talk about your experience.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my experience was I started having what I thought was early menopause. I was hot flashing, night sweating. I was just miserable. I had always had bad periods my whole life. I'd had horrible, horrible periods, very painful. I'd had several DNCs. I had never been able to have a child. It turned out, I found out when I was 27 that I only had one ovary. So I started hot flashing a lot and a lot of abdominal pain. And I went to the doctor and they said, well, let's just go ahead and give you a routine ablation.
Mm-hmm.
A 90-second procedure. You're never going to have a period. I was 40 years old. I was good with it. I had accepted the fact that I was never going to have a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, let's get this done. I won't have to worry about a period anymore. I won't have the pain anymore. And before my surgery, they requested an ultrasound. And when they did the ultrasound, they said that it came back, it looked funny. But they said, well, you're getting ready to start your period, and it's probably just blood from your period. Well, no, it wasn't. I went in for my ablation. I was supposed to be in and out, outpatient. I woke up in the recovery room, and it was a lot later than it should have been. And they checked me into the hospital. The doctor had to go to another hospital and deliver a baby. So they never even told me what was going on.
Wow.
They told me that the doctor had to tell me it was routine practice, that you couldn't be released from the hospital until the doctor came and told you.
Wow.
And when she did show up, I went in at 6 o'clock in the morning. She showed up at 6 or 7 o'clock that night.
Mm.
And in the meantime, the doctor had told my best friend that it took me there for surgery what was going on. And my parents told me about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I didn't believe it. I'm like, I don't have cancer. I feel great. I'm feeling great. I don't have any problems. What are you talking about? And when my doctor showed up, she walked in the room. She didn't even say hello. She said, Susie, you have ovarian cancer. You have a 60% chance of being alive in 5 years.
Wow.
Let's pray. Yeah. And so I actually got sent to one of the best facilities in the States, the James Cancer Center in Columbus, Ohio. My doctor is Dr. David Cohn. He's the head of oncology at Ohio State. I couldn't have been in better hands.
Wow, thank God.
I had to have a full abdominal hysterectomy. They went in in because I not only had ovarian cancer, I was almost into stage 3 ovarian. I was 2C ovarian and 1C uterine. They said that it looked like they took a paintbrush and splattered cancer all over the inside of my walls.
Wow.
So because of that, they did a full abdominal hysterectomy and went through my intestine and everything to make sure that they got all of the cancer. I could have done my whole treatment in the town that I'm from. I chose to stick with Dr. Cohn out of Columbus and traveled there every 3 weeks to do my chemo.
Wow. You know, this is some information. I hope our listeners, Sharmin, is taking this very serious, because I mean, as she's talking, my mind is going to where I've known a couple of people that really suffer these symptoms. You know, every time, you know, that time of the month comes around, you know, they suffer. You know, and they probably just taking it for granted, and who knows what's going on in there.
Right. Right. And your pap smear does not test for ovarian cancer.
Okay.
In fact, once you've had ovarian cancer, my doctor told me it's useless for you. There's no reason for you to get a pap smear ever again, because that does not test for it.
Wow.
You know, I was hot flashing like crazy, night sweats, and really, you know, especially going through chemo, that intensifies. The flashing and the sweats, they're doubled when you're going through chemo. It's horrible. At one point, my veins were black. When you would look at my veins, the top of my hands, they were black from chemo.
Wow.
And like Otrice said, the first 5, 6, 7 days after chemo, you are bedridden. You're a mess. You can't function. I call it zinging. You're just kind of there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you mind I ask, how old were you at that time? Because I know you keep you mentioned the hot flashes, and I know, you know, some people they start to face with your menopause at a certain age after 40 or something like that. At what age were you when that started?
I was diagnosed when I was 40.
Oh, you was at 40.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. March 3rd of 2008.
Wow.
So I'm 8 years out, and you know, I tell people surviving cancer, that's a breeze. It's surviving chemo and what chemo does to your body afterwards. You know, because of chemo, I have extremely bad neuropathy in my feet.
Can you explain to the listeners, Susie, what is neuropathy?
Yes, please.
Neuropathy is like you're walking on pins and needles. Your feet hurt so bad.
Wow.
You know, when I get up in the morning, I don't walk, I waddle. Because it takes a while to get my feet functioning correctly. A lot of times they put you on Neurontin for it. But fibromyalgia, I now have fibromyalgia because of ovarian cancer. There's just so many different things that are the result that of doing chemo that you know.
Susie, what encouragement could you give to our women listeners that might be saying, "Oh, I don't have to worry about that"?
Well, I think that everybody should worry about it. Like I said, it's a silent killer. But I mean, I was devastated when I found out. But if I can do it, anybody can do it. and really, it is family and your friends and your loved ones that get you through it. And you know, I couldn't have went through it without a better person. My boyfriend, when all I wanted to do was lay in bed and cry and die, my boyfriend was there grabbing a hold of me and saying, "Let's go." You know, it really is your support system.
I tell power to the brother, man. Power to the brother, because a lot of brothers will be running.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
give you mine.
Yeah.
And my girlfriends. My girlfriends, you know, they were just amazing. You know. And then I did want to touch on one thing that Otrice brought up, and that was the insurance. When I found out that I had cancer, I had just been 6 weeks out of my job. I was laid off. I had to pay for everything. I had to pay for a COBRA insurance. And, you know, you're going through all of this on COBRA insurance, paying $300 a month or $400 a month. It wasn't easy at all. I could not get help through Job and Family Services because I didn't have children. I didn't, you know, I was unable to get help at that time. And so once I got through everything with the cancer and through insurance, you only have COBRA insurance for 18 months. Then you have no insurance. So I couldn't even get insurance for a long time because you're now considered pre-existing. And that is what Obamacare did for me. I could not get insurance. I couldn't get help. And thanks to Obamacare, I am no longer considered pre-existing.
Wow. So right now you are cancer free?
I am cancer free, yes.
Wow.
Yes. But you know, even when you're cancer free, I mean, here I was almost into stage 3, and there was no signs. So even when you're cancer free, and I'm sure Sharmin and Otrice and everybody would agree, it's always in the back of your mind. Do I have it? Is it back? You know, I'm 8 years out, and I'm still hot flashing like crazy. You know,
Wow.
And I'm always wondering, is it back? Is that why? You know. So it's always in the back of your mind, do I have it? And basically they just watch your CA-125. That's really all they do.
Now you mentioned stage 3, right? And I heard Sharmin talk about stage 1. What are the different stages? And what are the severity of them?
There's 4 stages. And in each stage you have an A, B, and C. So you have, you know, so say you're 1A, that's not real serious. But if you're getting into your late 3s and your early 4s, you're usually, I hate to say it, but it's usually terminal. It's like I said, there's once you hit stage 3, I'm lucky. I'm lucky because my ovary was completely full of cancer.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's 4 stages, but in each stage, there is 3 levels.
A, B, and C.
Wow. There was a question that just slipped my mind, and it was for both of you. Let me see. We were talking about the stages, different levels. Oh yeah. Like for the young listeners out there, the young ladies, you know, that may be going through some of the symptoms, when they go to the doctor, what test should they ask for? Should they ask for a specific test?
Well, the only test that can gauge or identify ovarian cancer is the CA-125, or Susie just shared that they did a sonogram of her abdomen and they saw something. And when I went to the ER, they did a sonogram of my abdomen and they said they saw a complex mass. And the only way to determine what that complex mass is an exploratory surgery, like Otrice did, I did. Susie, did you do? They did do an yes. So
I was supposed to have an ablation, and it was supposed to be laparoscopic, and that's how they found it. So they went in through my belly button to do the ablation, but that's how they found the cancer.
Wow. No, I'm gonna be. I got 4 girls, man, and I gotta make sure I start educating my girls, man, because you know, it is something not something I would want for any one of them. You know, like I said, you know, it goes in my family in both ways. Some have like in the male, some had prostate. You know, the female, some had breasts. I think one of them is going through, because from the symptoms that you guys are talking about here, I think that's the same symptoms that they are having, and I think they went through one stage of treatment or something already where they had to go in and whatever with the inside and stuff, you know. So I'm trying to understand more of it. See, when we are ignorant to something, it's a bad thing.
See, now, I was totally opposite. I don't have cancer on either side of my family, maternal or paternal. There's not any type of cancer on either side. So one of the things that I'm actually looking into at this time is the ovarian cancer lawsuit against talcum powder, because I was using a lot of powder at that time. I worked in a hot factory. You know, I was using talcum powder. Is that why I got cancer? I don't know. They are retesting all of my stuff to see if that's why, because they have to do a totally different test that was never done in the hospital. But, you know, that question's always in my mind. Why did I get it? What did I get it from? Because cancer doesn't run in my family on either side.
You know, Susie, right after my diagnosis, the attending gynecologists and oncologists recommended the BRCA1 and 2, which I'll go into later. And my BRCA1 and 2 was negative. I was not genetically predisposed to cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was not in my genes. And then, I think 3 years ago, they brought out a new DNA test for cancer. It's called the letter test, where they take the BRCA results and they go deeper, breaking up that DNA. And that test came out negative too. So I was never genetically predisposed like Susie, but not so much in the past 10 years.
Right.
But I was addicted to talcum powder.
Right.
And it was like a I don't want to say it was something for the little ghetto girls in Guyana.
Right.
That you when after you shower, you cover your entire body with powder.
Love the powder.
Yes. And here we are with the consequences. You know?
Yeah. And I mean, you were born. I mean, when I was younger, that's what everybody was doing to their babies. They were throwing talcum powder all over them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, as a little girl growing up, the first thing I did when I got out of the shower, throw some powder on. For me, I was working in a hot factory during the summer. And so we were using powder like crazy, the girls that worked there. And that's my, you know, my question right there. Was that it? Because, you know, during the winter you didn't use it as much. So I'm curious as to whether or not I'm going to test positive for the powder, because they found my cancer in the winter. And I'm not sure how long it sticks in your system.
Wow.
But I would like that answer, you know. I don't care about the money, I would just like the answer.
Yes.
The money would be nice.
I was just about to say, for all that you went through, at least, man, you know, that you can get something, at least, you know, let me take a vacation and enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
That will be
But,
good.
Sharmin, you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so you got any more questions for Susie, Sharmin?
Not right now. I mean, I haven't seen anything in the live feed. But Susie, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your story.
Yep. Keep up the good work, Sharmin.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, Susie, thank you. You have a blessed one.
Thanks.
Right, bye-bye.
So, Pastor Peter,
Yes.
after I came out of the hospital,
Mhm.
remember now, I have never been exposed to anyone with cancer.
Right,
This is not something that is common in my family.
right.
One of my mom's half sister was diagnosed with cancer, but she was a distant relative.
Mhm.
So I took to Facebook and I created Women with Ovarian and Fallopian Tube Cancer group.
Mhm.
Because I had to survive. I didn't know how to deal with this.
Right.
And I met Susie, I met Otrice, I met a lot of women.
Mhm.
We lost a lot of our OVAC sisters,
Mhm.
and some of them were pretty young.
Mhm.
And to see what ovarian cancer did to some of them, did to their bodies.
Right.
I just want the women that are listening to us to listen to the whispers that your body or listen to the things that your body is whispering to you. We know that the symptoms and the signs that we shared, bloating, cramping, abdominal pain, changes in your menstrual cycle, problems eating, vaginal bleeding, painful sex, those are signs that you may call common signs. Those happen, especially when we have problematic menstrual cycles. But do not take those signs ordinarily, because those are the common signs and symptoms of ovarian cancer, which is killing us. And 20,000 of us are diagnosed annually.
Yep. And this is public information, folks. You can Google it and you will find it. You will see that for yourself, how many people have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Are we talking about women? I haven't seen no man.
Well, they don't have a reproductive system, Pastor Peter. And, Susie shared about the stages. I was diagnosed with stage 1A. And that's like, okay, when they diagnose it, it's like, okay, they just found it and it's just in one place. It's confined.
Right.
Stage 1B is and maybe that if they found it, it's in one place, but it's a big area.
Right.
Stage 1C is something for you to cause concern, but it hasn't been spread. Stage 2, stage 3, it may be spread to a neighboring organ.
Right.
Stage 3, it's major, it's a spread, and it has metastasized a whole lot. Stage 4, it's like, okay, that's it.
Wow.
Because when they open, if with a stage 4, it's like the entire reproductive system, and mind you, ovarian cancer spread to the lungs. We had one sister in my cancer group that it spread to her other body part. She was not 40 years old. I don't even think she was 35, and she had a colostomy bag.
Wow.
Okay, and there was another sister. The cancer, she spread to her brain. She had brain tumor. I tried to. I don't know where she is right now. I don't know if she's still alive. But there are a lot of our sisters on my ovarian cancer group that we lost. And after we lost Mary, may God bless her soul, and God bless all of our other sisters. After we lost Mary, Pastor Peter, that group is not the same anymore. Because every time I go on the group, I remember her. Because we kept it alive. And she was pretty young. Very young.
Wow.
Not, so the myth that it's old, you got to be 60 or 40. You heard Otrice when she shared her story that Otrice was diagnosed at age 27.
Right. And I can't stop imagining though that she been going to the doctor 10 months before they could even. Wow.
Because Pastor Peter, if you don't when you go to the doctor, if you don't ask for a sonogram of the abdomen, they wouldn't do it. It's not a routine. And even and this is information that I obtained while in the group.
Right.
Sometimes you will go to your GYN, you said, I need a sonogram of my abdomen. And they would say, for what?
Right.
Okay, I'm having these abdominal pains. Well, he may diagnose, there was this one girl that she had to go to him 3 times and insisted that she received the sonogram. Lo and behold, when she had the sonogram, he saw the mask and she had ovarian cancer.
Wow. So imagine even the doctors are ignoring your symptoms.
It's because of what the symptoms are.
Like normal symptoms of.
Yeah, you might. It's like the symptoms of food poisoning. Because I had the symptoms of food poisoning, and that's the symptom I have if I have like a buildup of gas.
Right.
And I have the bloating, the nausea, and the vomiting. And sometimes diarrhea. And those are common symptoms.
Right.
Right? Those are symptoms if you get food poisoning that you have.
Yeah.
But those are the symptoms of ovarian cancer.
And now too, for some of you young ladies out there, that you may have that symptoms of the vomiting and the this and the that, and your parents might feel that you're pregnant, and you ain't do nothing to get pregnant. You know what? You gotta go to the doctor. Take it on yourself and go to the doctor if your parents don't want to carry you because they think that's what it is. And especially back home, they like to give you this to drink and that to drink because they think you might be pregnant. You might be doing yourself more harm. So I'm telling you, go to the doctor. Sharmin, let's take a quick musical break. And then we're going to come back and we're going to get back into this discussion. But in the meanwhile, folks, the phone lines are open. You want to join in? It's 718-342-0510. Share your thoughts, share your comments. You've been educated, you've been empowered. How do you feel about the subject that we discussed? What did you hear so far? Are you encouraged? Are you concerned? You're gonna go get yourself checked out. We want to know. We want you to share with us. 718-342-0510. Good evening to my brother, Mr. Apache, all the way in Connecticut. If you're just joining us, our discussion today is on ovarian cancer and fallopian tube cancer. All right, and as Sharmin explained, this thing can spread all the way to the brain. So there's no limits once it starts. All right, so let's take a quick musical break. We'll be right back.
Salvation story. This a Jesus story. Jesus story. Remember those days when we used to go to school and me see man with the Bible and me claims that them a fool. Then the time I never know see a Jesus rule. Never want go to church cause me stubborn like you. I remember in the ghetto when I be a bit fool. And me think say every man when you have a gun a fool. Used to dress up every day and me think say that be cool. Never did I listen to my friend she can teach me the golden rule. Remember one night you see me go a crusade. Me and my friend named Nagi I go on a girl raid. But a girl we a do me say me know we never afraid. But my book up on Christ now the blood when we bathe.
Vibes Up Radio on a Monday evening. It's talk time with Sharmin. We are here. And if you're just joining us, just remember the topic today that we're discussing is women with ovarian cancer. Not just women with ovarian cancer. We're talking about ovarian cancer and the fallopian tube cancer in behold. 718-342-0510 is the number. That's 718-342-0510. If you are on the Vibes Up feed, you're on my feed, you're on Sharmin feed. Once again, good evening to the Vibes Up family also. Good evening, Brother Earl. Long time I didn't hear your voice. Four lines open, 718-342-0510. 718-342-0510. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Good evening, caller. You are live with Sharmin.
Good afternoon, sir. Good evening to
Good
you.
evening.
And good evening to you, Sister Sharmin.
Good evening.
Mr. Apache, this is my brother Sharmin, living in Connecticut. You in Connecticut or you in Florida, sir?
No. I've been back from Florida, sir.
Okay, so how you doing this evening, man? You caught any of the discussion that we talking about?
I just have to come on and I just do something and I say you're live and I said, let me see what you're doing live. You know? How was it?
You didn't talk to me for so long. You think I'm dead? Of course I'm alive.
Listen, I called you for your birthday and you did not answer me, sir.
Oh God, boy, I work for my birthday.
I know, I called you and say happy birthday. How could I forget that? You know. And I didn't hear from you.
My apologies. So we're discussing ovarian cancer, and I know Miss Shelley might be more fit for the topic.
Yeah, but she at school right now, so you know.
Okay. So have you known anyone in that category, or do you have any experience?
Yes, I had a cousin that was going through and was doing blood transfusion also. And you know, she had issues and things, but we pray and we pray and we pray, and I think everything is okay right now, so far. So.
Okay, but with the prayer and the medication, it work.
Yes. Mhm.
All right. So you know what type of treatment she had to go through, or
well, she was doing chemo, you know.
So,
Let me see if we can find some of the chemo she said was going on.
yeah, because it's a very important topic, because like me with my daughters, I know you have a very pretty daughter there too, and you know we want to educate our children, you know, even though they might feel that they exempt from it, you know, but like Sharmin was explaining, and the two callers, Susie and Autrice. You know, these are people that survived the ovarian cancer that had first-hand experience. Even Sharmin had first-hand experience, and that's what we're trying to educate the listening audience out there.
Right. No, it is a good topic, and it is a sickness that I'm telling you, man. I don't know what's about it really,
Yeah.
But this is what my cousin said me. She said, please continue to pray for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to do chemo, like she said today, and taking blood work and seeing a doctor. And chemo about 12:45. My red blood cell is low, so they want me to do blood transfusion. So I said, what is the natural to get? What was the natural to get? She said. Right, then she said, she finally did surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and then she had some kind of pain and some kind of issue was going on, so and then she had to get rid of some, when she can't, had some, so she had to take some, they had to give her antibiotics, so there was some, infection right there.
So Charmaine, that infection could be caused by the scar tissues in the body?
There could be different reasons. Her immune system could have caused infection because when I did my second surgery in March, I was hospitalized for 12 days because I should have been in the hospital for 3 days, but because of an infection, and the infection manifested as fever, and so I had to remain in the hospital for an additional 8 days.
Okay.
Because of the infection. And with the infection, if you have an infection, you're unable to get chemo.
Oh, wow.
They would have to postpone the chemo for another time, which in the cycle is 3 weeks. But they would have to push it back so that she can get rid of the infection, because she wouldn't be able to do the chemo with an infection.
Wow. A lot of complications, man. Wow.
Yeah,
So this thing is serious.
Also, she was saying that they wanted to do surgery at the rectum. I don't know why. She didn't say why.
Because maybe she has
Pancreatic?
colon cancer.
Colon, yeah.
Right. Okay.
You know what? I think you should call her and tell her to tune in.
All right. I'll tell her.
All right?
Yeah. You mean just picking up on Facebook then? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, my brother, Mr. Rohan Apache.
Yeah. We can talk to you weekend.
All right.
All right. Bless up and see you, Sister Sharmin.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes.
All right. Take care, bro. God bless, man. Bye.
You know, Pastor Peter, for chemotherapy for me, I don't have a horror story. And most of us that were diagnosed with ovarian or fallopian tube cancer, you have to take a combination. And the combination is carboplatin and Taxol. Taxol is the one that strips your body. And so I shared with you that like a year before I was diagnosed, I was not, yesterday I was with two of my friends. One of them said she will not join the live feed because she don't want to see me break down. I told her that I don't think that I've ever dealt with my diagnosis, and it's because that I was never diagnosed.
All right.
You know?
I was going to ask you that.
I was never diagnosed. Yeah. It's like you go to the doctor. If you go to the doctor and the doctor say, well, we suspect you have ovarian cancer, at least you have an idea and you have time to think and really deal with it.
Yeah.
I just woke up and was presented with the news, and I had to go in survival mode. So it's surgery in January, surgery in March, chemo for another 6 months. I went right back to work in May, and my chemo sessions were during work. My doctor said, okay, do your chemo on Wednesday, because day 3 and 4 are the worst days. So I'll go to chemo on Wednesday, go back to work on Thursday and Friday, and Saturday and Sunday, I am in bed. I can't move. But Monday, I'm able to get up and go to work.
Wow.
Because I had exhausted my FMLA, so I had to return to work. I was out from January to May. And so, and the chemo, I mean, let me tell you guys something. Pastor Peter, for those 6 sessions, when I go for my chemo, I went to Memorial Sloan Kettering. That's like the best place you could, because so your chemo room, you have a bed. If you have, my relative would go. They have a place to sit. You get lunch. You have a room by yourself. And I laid hands on my chemo every time I had it. And day 3 and 4 were my worst days. I was not confined to bed. I did not have, like, Mary, God rest her soul, was my mentor. Because she was in a lot of chemo trials.
Right.
So she was on chemotherapy for a very long time. And so she told me to, because you lose your taste buds. And peanut butter is something that it's nutritious and you can taste it. But I did not lose my taste buds.
Okay.
I ate normal. I had severe, I thought that I would have been left with neuropathy, as Susie shared.
Right.
But I had the neuropathy during chemotherapy, but it didn't stay with me. Day 3 and 4, Pastor Peter, it's like if a German truck or an 18-wheeler ran over your body and just left you there.
Wow.
I don't know how to describe it. Oh, Teresa and Susie, you might be able to help me here, but yeah, I felt that I was able to go to work day 1 and day 2. Day 3 and 4, I had to be in bed.
Wow. I mean, a lot of people probably don't even know how the seriousness of chemo. Because I know of someone that I think the dosage of chemo were a little too strong and almost killed the person. Yeah, because I didn't go, but family members went and saw the person at the hospital, and they said, "Oh man, this person turned black, like black, and how they look so bad and whatever." And come to find out, the dosage of the chemo was too strong or something like that.
But I don't know, because the chemo. You see I don't know for other hospitals. But I know from Memorial Sloan Kettering, I saw my oncologist before, and even you have to be weighed. They have to check your blood. That's even before you go in to the chemo room.
Right.
So the chemo center, they have to check your blood, and they do a comprehensive blood work on you, because they have to check your hemoglobin to ensure that your body can take the chemo. Because remember, chemo is like let's say, like when you drink antibiotics is stripping your body of everything.
Right.
Chemo is attacking the cancer, but it's also attacking your body. because I don't think it has a brain to just attack the cancer.
Right.
So I know that day 3 and 4, I laid in bed and I felt as though an 18-wheeler ran over me. And sometime during those day 3 and 4, I had to get up and make my meals. And I heard Susie said how supportive her boyfriend was. I had a boyfriend that I've been with for a number of years, I think 7 years. And when I was diagnosed, he was there with my mother and my brother. I can't tell you, Pastor Peter, by the time I got to the hospital, my mother came on the phone and told me, tell them take you to downstate.
Right.
However, and my mother's 82 today, by then she was like 70 something, with the sharpest mind. She could not remember telling me to go to downstate. So my sister had to call 911 to find out where they took me.
Right.
By the time I'm sitting in the ER, my brother, his wife, my sister, her son, everyone was there. So they slept at the hospital. So the morning that I woke up, everyone was there. My boyfriend was there. And he stopped believing in God after that.
Wow.
Because he thought that I knew the Bible so well. Whatever. This, I'm religious.
Right.
And as a father, he cannot understand how this loving father that I talk about can allow me to go through that.
Right.
And he couldn't deal with what I was dealing with, and he became missing in action, and
Chuck Norris.
yes, he became MIA, and I lost the relationship.
Right.
But I had the support of my mom. I had the support of my sister. I had the support of one of my friends who came from French Guiana. After she heard I was diagnosed with cancer, to spend time with me and accompany me to chemo. My youngest sister came up in time and she accompanied me to the chemo also. So I had the support of my family, my brother, his wife. I had a team of wonderful doctors at Memorial Sloan Kettering. Dr. Macker is and it still is, because after chemo, you have to go quarterly.
Right.
And you have to do a CAT scan. No, I hate the CAT scan with the contrast, the IV contrast.
Right.
Because whenever I get the IV contrast, whatever is in my stomach comes out right there in the machine.
Okay.
And so even though this is the aftermath.
Right.
Now I have opted not to do the CAT scan with the IV contrast, because my body does not tolerate it. So after chemo, and you have to go every quarterly to do your tests, CAT scans, and if they suspect something, you may have to do a PET scan. And when you do a PET scan, you have to get a card, because if you're walking past the police or the soldier and they had radioactive devices, you can trigger it off.
Wow.
So they may think that you have a bomb, and no, you just had a PET scan. So you have to have that card. You do the chemo. You have to, after that, you have to do a blood test quarterly to ensure that the cancer hasn't returned. And the CAT scans quarterly, and then after 5 years, it becomes every 6 months. And you have to see the GYN oncologist and the oncologist.
Wow.
I remembered after they didn't find it after I did the update for the second surgery, remember now I have a port.
Right.
And I wanted the port to come out, so so my sister and I went to and he's a fine doctor, Dr. Lateo. And in Dr. Lateo's office, local, he just numbed that area. And Pastor Peter, I kid you not, I smelled my flesh burning because he's removing the port. And my sister is outside texting my brother, I am here smelling my sister flesh burning.
Wow.
And I said, was it me? And at one time when he's stitching it and I'm feeling, and he's like, okay, I have 2 more. And that because I endure it, because by then whatever he gave me,
Start to work out.
Yes.
Wow. You had a journey.
Yeah.
But for that journey, you got the victory. This is going out to Sharmin whole group. Yeah, we got the victory. I don't know what just happened there, but we got the victory. 718-342-0510 is the number. That's 718-342-0510. If you're just joining us, we're talking about ovarian cancer. We're talking about fallopian tube cancer. You hear Sharmin share a story. Also, Susie and Otrice share their stories, and we just want to reiterate, however you want to pronounce it. Some of the signs and the symptoms, which is very normal to you females out there, very normal. You know, Sharmin, can you go over that?
Yeah. Bloating or swollen abdomen, increased abdominal size, urinary frequency, urgency or difficulty, problems eating such as feeling full quickly after a meal, constipation, diarrhea, nausea, pelvic pain or pressure, pain anywhere in the abdomen, vaginal bleeding, back pain, painful sex, weight loss, changes in menstruation. You remember that O3 spoke about pain and cramping and you know, the unusual menstrual cycle. Mine was accompanied with pain and nausea and vomiting, but severe abdominal pain. And Susie shared that she had irregular menstrual cycle. And you know, listeners, I know this is my first time sharing my story publicly. I'm comfortable talking about all my other experiences, but some or the other, despite I started the support group on Facebook, it was to help me to get through it. And I don't know, Pastor Peter, if you ask me if I've really dealt with this experience, if I can honestly say yes. Because as a woman, losing body parts is not an easy thing.
I can imagine that.
And also in my head, as a child growing up, what was associated to women that had hysterectomy always resonate in my mind, because they would call those women flask.
Right.
Because, you know,
yeah.
And so, you know, those traumatic experiences can get to you and affect you psychologically. And ovarian cancer and fallopian tube cancer is not just a physical cancer. It's not just a physical disease. It affects you psychologically.
Right.
Because you have to fight your mind. Like Susie shared, every time you get a pain, oh, is the cancer back?
Right.
When you go to the doctor and you get your CA125, you're eager to see the numbers. Are the numbers elevating, or anything below 35? When you get the CA125, you're normal. Mind you, it's anything below 35. There are people in our cancer group that had a CA125 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000. And that CA125 is the cancer marker.
Okay.
And that's a blood test that is drawn like any regular blood test. And it's tested for the cancer. It's a cancer marker.
Wow.
And it's called cancer antigen, and that's the CA125, and it's a protein that is found on the surface of many ovarian cancer cells. It also can be found in other cancers and in small amounts in normal tissues. That's why it's 35 and above for you to be alarmed. And it also measures the amount of this protein in the blood. So CA125, ladies, my encouragement to you, if you had any female female relative in your family that was diagnosed with ovarian or breast cancer, you can go to your doctor and request the BRCA1 and 2. Angelina Jolie did the BRCA1 and 2 and saw that she was predisposed. That's why she took off her breasts. Right? Because of her predisposition, and maybe it showed up in her genes. Because the BRCA1 and 2 is a genetic test, and it would tell you if you have the genes that causes cancer. And a lot of women, because we had a few in our cancer group that were predisposed and opted to have a total hysterectomy because they were predisposed to ovarian cancer.
Wow.
So if you have relatives, female relatives, and they have not taken the BRCA1 and 2, my encouragement to you is to go and get the BRCA1 and 2 test. Also, if you're positive, or if someone is positive with the BRCA1 and 2, there's a new sophisticated DNA test that is called the letter test that breaks down, that uses the results from the BRCA for that test. My insurance wouldn't pay for it, but I think my the genetic counselor told me about it, and I actually paid out of pocket and had it done.
Okay. So I mean it's something that you know they should ask the doctor for. What do you call it? The BRCA?
BRCA, BRCA 1 and 2. And I think I have something here that I can read. Women who have a high risk of getting ovarian cancer, if they have a family history of ovarian cancer or certain changes, which is a mutation in their DNA, BRCA, BRCA1 or BRCA2 is the test to go and get.
So what about if they don't have the it's not in your family trait?
But I as I said, Pastor Peter, October my job.
Right.
My job is offering Aflac and cancer. I was like, phew, I'm gonna just pay for the hospital, not the cancer, because I don't have cancer in my family, and that level of ignorance.
Right.
And then 2 months later, I woke up to the news that they found ovarian cancer. So you don't have to have it, because we all have cancer cells in us.
Right.
And it's during when those cells are broken down and they don't get knit back together as it should, that's where the cancer comes in. So even though you don't have it, you can ask your doctor, tell your doctor, look, I want a sonogram of my abdomen.
718-342-0510 is the number. 718-342-0510. We got another hour to go? Yeah, we got an hour to go.
Call us, tell us you're listening. Let us know.
Have you been informed?
Yeah.
Have you been informed? Did you get enough information? 718-342-0510. Don't be afraid.
And forgive me for boohooing in your presence.
That's okay. That's understandable, because it takes courage to come out because like you said, I mean, it's not just a physical thing, it's also a psychological thing, so it takes courage to do that. Hey,
because Pastor Peter, I don't think a year or so ago, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you suffered a loss and never mourned it. And I'm like, I lost my the thing that makes women feel that they're women, and I've never mourned it.
Right.
So I took some time to mourn my lost body parts. As weird as it sounds. This wasn't supposed to be fun. I did, and I really took time and I mourned it. I lost this. I lost this, and I need to mourn it.
Right.
Because it's a loss, and I don't think if I had not done that, I would have been able to sit through this.
Right. Yeah, because you gotta come to grips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like when I reached out to O3, she's like, Sharmin, I don't know. But Susie was like, yes. What time? And both of them were diagnosed the same year.
Oh, wow.
So they have 8 years of being a survivor.
Wow.
And there is this myth that, it can always return. But you just got to continue praying and praying and praying and praying. And continue to do the right thing. And I mean, before I was diagnosed, I used to eat healthy.
Right.
And after that, I'm very careful with what I eat.
Well, I mean, even that, it's a funny thing because I see some people eat like, well, I don't know what, and not a thing will go wrong with these people, man. Nothing will go wrong with them. Let's go to the phone. Good evening, caller. You're live with Sharmin.
Good evening, Pastor Peter. Good evening, Sharmin.
Good evening, Brother Earl.
Brother Earl.
Done listening, and I think that little bit of humor was needed, Sister Sharmin. You needed that little bit of humor.
Yep.
The night that we've had and for what we've endured and what we've said all night for the confession, you didn't need that. So very soon, listening, you guys are awesome information for the ladies. My heart, I pray for all you ladies who share this story. Sharmin, you're very brave. You're very brave for sharing that. You're more than that. Your body has is very important. My sister, and your God, you are an angel. Okay?
Thank you so much, Brother Earl.
You're welcome.
We lost you.
Thank everybody.
Brother Earl, it sounded like you had a bad connection there for a minute. We didn't get you clearly.
Which part? Everything? Just about everything?
No, after you said I needed the humor.
Yeah, you needed that humor, everything you mentioned that is lost a part of your body, and that was very, very, I think, from a real perspective, that'll be for you. So thanks for sharing. You're an angel. Continue to stay positive. Continue to do this great work. It's a wonderful show. The program, the topic is awesome. Even for the ladies who are plenty on listening, and this is awesome. All the ladies who shared and everything, it is wonderful.
Thank you, Brother Earl.
All right, Brother Earl, thank you very much, man, for your support always.
Amen. All right.
All right, God bless. Take care. 718-342-0510 is the number. That's 718-342-0510. I didn't hear from the lovely Samantha yet. Didn't hear from Lady Omika yet. They still waiting.
I saw Samantha, but I haven't seen Lady Omika. Yeah, I haven't seen her.
718-342-0510 is the number once again. 718-342-0510. is the number. And we're talking about ovarian cancer and the cancer in the fallopian tube. You know, I'm not a female man, but I can imagine that. You know, because like I said, you know, growing up, most young girls' dreams is to get married, to have a family and stuff like that. You know, and when you reach to that point where, you know, how should I put it? It's been taken away from you in a sense. You know, it's very hard, very hard. I would imagine, you know, because if I have a sister or I have a daughter that went through that, you know, I know how I would feel it for them, because to see and then to hear you guys talk about not even so much going through that, but then the chemo and what the chemo does to your body. I mean, I'm assuming it's only so much that your body can take, you know, and just for you guys to be here talking about it, you know, I commend you very much. Commend you very much, you know, and I hope the young ladies that are listening tonight, that is tuned in, you know, that you will go get yourself checked out. If you go through some of those symptoms, don't take it for granted and thinking it's just, oh yeah, this is because I go through this every month or whatever, you know. Don't take it for granted, you know. Take it seriously. Just go get yourself checked. As Sharmin and, you know, the other two young lady talk about, you're not gonna get it in a pop smear.
No.
You would not get that result in a pop smear. So, you know, Sharmin, just recap again, you know, like what test they should ask their doctor for based on their.
But remember, Pastor Peter, I told you that in December,
right,
I had my regular GYN checkup, and on January 9th,
right,
on January 10th, I woke up to the news after a 6-hour surgery. Exploratory surgery, mind you.
Wow.
So one of the things that they can request, they can get the abdominal sonogram. Also, there is the transvaginal sonogram, where they look at the abdomen through the vagina.
All right.
So they can either request a transvaginal sonogram or an abdominal sonogram, and they have to request that from their GYN, and or they can ask for a CA-125 blood test to see where they are. Anytime, according to the literature, anytime it's over 35. But I've seen people with their CA-125 at thousands.
Right.
Those are the two things. Either a sonogram, because that's the only way they can see your reproductive system. The transvaginal or the abdominal sonogram, and the CA-125. If you have family members with ovarian cancer and breast cancer, request a BRCA1 and 2 test. The BRCA1 and 2 test is a DNA test that would tell you if you're genetically predisposed to ovarian and breast cancer. And if that test is positive or negative and you want to take it further, there is a new test called the letter test that breaks down the BRCA.
But now, I know you can you give like a ballpark figure what that test would cost if they don't have insurance?
Well, I have to pay out of pocket for my letter test. And my letter test cost me, I think, $1,200 or $1,500. But it depends on where you go, maybe, because I did it at Memorial Sloan Kettering. I am going to see what is the cost of the BRCA test.
But for me, I would recommend why not go to the best? You know, you don't want to go somewhere and then you got to go for a second opinion. I think Susie mentioned that she had to go somewhere for a second opinion, and that's where they found it. So I would say, listen, if you're going to do it, just go for the best.
Well, it's not easy to get into Memorial Sloan Kettering.
Yeah, I've seen their ads.
I'm looking here. The cost of the BRCA1 and BRCA2 mutation testing depends on the type of test you need, but usually ranges from several hundred to several thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's a genetic test, you know?
All right.
So, cost of genetic testing can range from under 100 to more than 2,000, depending on the nature or the complexity of the test. So I'm sure, you know, there are places like, remember I was taken right to Downstate Hospital and they did that test right there. That's where I was introduced to that test.
718-342-0510 is the number. That's 718-342-0510. 718-342-0510. That's the number to call.
Oh, look, Otrice has been a survivor for 8 years, and she said she don't think she ever had the BRCA test.
Wow.
And for me, when I went back to the hospital after being discharged, that's the first thing they did.
Wow.
Caller, you're live. Welcome to Talk Time with Sharmin.
Good evening, Sharmin. I want to commend you on sharing your story. Also, the other ladies. And I don't know if you're a psychic, but cancer, this is Abby. Cancer is a disease that is dear to my heart. My grandmother that I love, my maternal grandmother that I love, died from breast cancer. My mom was diagnosed with cervical cancer, but she has been in remission like 5 years now. I think one of my uncles was also diagnosed with cancer. I watched my mother go through chemotherapy. I went with her every day, like you said. Everything you're saying is on point. It is a family sickness, and it's a sickness that you definitely need support from the family. One thing I have to say, though, how we grew up in Guyana, a lot of diseases were shaded away from us. They shelter us from a lot of these diseases. My grandmother, her sister had breast cancer, and my grandmother didn't even know that until her sister died.
Wow.
I don't know if you know stories like that in Guyana. You know, there's sickness in the family, and they shelter the children. You know, they shelter the children, and that is so bad. What I love, I'm in the medical field, and what I love America, everything is in the open. They talk about from the smallest disease to the biggest one with their kids, and I love that. You know, and like I said, I took my mother to all her chemotherapy sessions, and she ended up with neuropathy, like your friend. I don't recall her name from Susie, but she doesn't have it that bad. But the chemotherapy, when you can survive, Sharmin, you're blessed. When you can survive chemotherapy and all those other ladies, you're a very strong person. Because remember, chemo is killing the good cells and the cancer cells. You know. So it's a wonderful thing when you can live to tell the tales of cancer or your experience, you know. And like I said, I wanted to commend you. My sister, for instance, she just did one of the tests that you were talking about. She just did a genetic testing because we have it in our family. Like I said, my maternal grandmother died from breast cancer and her sister, you know. So You wanted me in the studio, and I should have been there, but I had so many things to do. And I don't know if you were psychic to know that cancer is a cause that is dear to my heart. You know, and I really should have been there, but, you know, different things happen. But the information that you're sharing is very vital, and I am going to take everything in hand. I haven't gone and do the testing like my sister did. I would always have my mammogram, and then they would also send me for a sonogram because, you know, women always have a lot of lumps in their breast, and
the
they
fibrocystic.
Fibrocystic breast, and they cannot determine which one is cancerous from which one is not. So I had this, I wouldn't say extensive studies, but I have gone beyond the regular mammogram. And they haven't found anything, but my sister herself did it, and since she went for the genetic testing, I think I would also go myself.
I would encourage you to do that, Abby, to go and get, because remember it's from your maternal grandmother. Your mother has 23 of those chromosomes, right?
Yes.
So, and you may have them, and so the possibility, it's too close to home not to check it out. And your insurance, because of your predisposition, your insurance would cover it.
Yes.
And also, as I shared earlier, there is this new genetic test that came out, and it's called the letter test, where they take the results of the BRCA and actually go deeper with that.
Okay.
So they're going to research that, and so you can really know, they're going to break that down smaller, and you can really know if there is what level of predisposition you're facing.
Okay.
So just because of it's so close to home, don't just stop at the BRCA 1 and 2.
Okay.
Request the letter test.
The letter test.
Yes.
Okay. I definitely will. And because of the family history, I do take my mammograms on a regular basis and my pap smear. But like you said, with ovarian cancer and even with cervical cancer, there is some, you know, it's hard to diagnose. You know, there's no signs and symptoms like the other signs that you studied in school of the signs of cancer, you know. So, and for some people, I guess your group and you guys are blessed. Some people may get diagnosed at stage 4 when it's far gone.
Yes.
Where chemo and radiation wouldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any radiation therapy from the group, no?
Because for ovarian, they don't do radiation.
Okay, it would be difficult, right?
Yes, it's difficult because remember those body parts are pretty fragile.
Yes. But my mom, she had radiation for her cervical cancer, though.
Okay.
But I guess ovarian, because of where the ovaries is located, or fallopian tube cancer depends, or you know, it would be difficult to zoom in and be able to treat those areas.
Also, Abby, there is at Memorial Sloan Kettering, when I do my mammogram, because I have severe fibrocystic breast, and they have to repeat the test, but now they use a 3D machine.
Okay.
I don't know if any other hospital or facility has that.
Okay.
But they have a 3D. It's still the same, you know, smashing your breast like they make it mofongo. But yes.
Well, I've been doing all of my mammograms at Dorsey Diagnostics. So what I would probably tell my gynecologist that I would prefer to go somewhere else or look for one of the facilities that have that machine. So where you get a better view. So I will definitely follow through. And again, I want to thank you for all your information that you're sharing. And you know what? You've been calling Mouse Dr. Mouse. I want to call you Dr. Sharmin. I know you're working on your decisions. The information that you're sharing is very, very important. And you know, doctors share these information with patients. Okay?
Thank you so much, Abby.
But Abby at a price.
At a price. Okay, Pastor Peter.
And I'm doing it free.
And you're doing it freely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, your blessings come different ways, Sharmin.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
and you give out this information, and you're a blessing to others, and then God is definitely going to bless you in different ways.
Thank you so
Amen
much.
to that.
Alice.
And everything is not financially. You may,
Definitely.
you know, you may get it in many, it may multiply in many ways. You know.
That's
Yes.
true.
All right, guys. Good night.
Thank you so much for calling.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Have a blessed one.
You.
718-342-0510 is the number. That's 718-342-0510. We take another quick musical break and then we're gonna come right back. Again.
So while you, I have this comment from Simone Goodluck Reed. She used to be my classmate in primary school, and she said, "For the sake of someone who has a family history of cancer, and of course eventually pass on, she's a young woman who has refused over 3 marriage proposals because she doesn't want to wake up one morning to share the obvious with the would-be hubby." Oh my God. She has taken all the tests for the sake of precaution. Any advice for this young lady or a word of encouragement?
What? Read that over again?
She has turned down 3 because she is predisposed. And she has turned down 3 marriage proposals because she don't want to wake up one morning to share the obvious with her husband, or that maybe she has cancer. So she has taken all the tests for the sake of precaution. Any advice for this young lady or word of encouragement? And she's on vacation and is listening from overseas. Simone, my advice to her, if she did the BRCA 1 and 2 and it was negative, she can also request the letter test, because my BRCA 1 and 2 was negative, but I still requested the letter test just to rule out that I'm not genetically predisposed. And instead of depriving herself from having a partner, the thing is to get married, get a child quickly. So if this thing happen, at least you have a child and a husband, and you can enjoy that. But don't deprive yourself of the opportunities that are knocking on your door because your mother and whomever other female relative died of it. It might skip you, but you don't know that. So for your own sanity, maybe get the BRCA 1 and 2 and get the letter test, and please say yes to the next man that proposed to you.
But you know what? I mean, that's kind of like living in fear. That's a fear. You're living in fear of something that may never happen.
But Pastor Peter, you don't know her experience watching her mother and whomever died from ovarian cancer or uterine cancer or fallopian tube cancer.
Right.
Because of her first-hand experience could have been extremely traumatic.
Yeah, it's true.
So
that's what she did say, right?
Yeah, so no, she don't want to put anyone else through that.
Right.
And it's not, and in my head, I'm like, that could be selfish. No, it's not being selfish. I can understand her paranoia.
Right.
But instead of living your life in fear, and you can get the test, because you will know if you're genetically predisposed.
Right.
And it's also a topic for discussion for anyone that wants to be with you. I had my test done. I am genetically predisposed, and you share that information and give them the opportunity to say yay or nay.
True.
And go and just get a child quickly, because if you're predisposed, the possibility that you can lose your lady parts.
Interesting. Dr. Sharmin in the house. 718-342-0510. 718-342-0510 is the number. Once again, I want to say, thank you to all you guys for your support. Those of you that's on my live feed, those of you that's on Sharmin's feed, those of you that's on the Vibes Up feed, to the Vibes Up family again, once again, thanks for the opportunity, giving us the platform where we can, bring all these information to the listeners out there. Because I know people hungry and starving for information. Some people go through some things and they, when they hear people say certain things, they be like, oh man, I wish I had somebody to tell me about this. I wish I had somebody to tell me about that, So we were truly thankful for the platform that we have, that we can share those information with you out there. You got something else there? 718-342-0510 is the number. 718-342-0510. We take a quick musical break in the meantime and we come back. is 718-342-0510 is the number. 718-342-0510. It's the Monday evening talk time with Sharmin, Vibes Up Radio. We are here every Monday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. live, also on Facebook. We're streaming live on Facebook. Download the Vibes Up Radio app. That's Vibes Up Radio HD. All right, Vibes Up Radio HD. Download the app And no matter where you are, you could listen to us. You wouldn't miss a beat.
You know, Pastor Peter,
Yes.
while you're on the musical break, I thought about something.
Mhm.
I know that Otri said that she didn't tell her relatives. I want to encourage our listeners, because sometimes I hear of some stories where relatives might be in a house with someone who has cancer and they have no idea.
Wow.
And there is nothing to be ashamed about.
Mm-mm.
No one give themselves diseases.
Nope.
Okay?
No.
So if you get a diagnosis, you will live longer if you get support.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't want to burden your family. Your family is going to be there for you.
Yeah.
I know my brother and sister and even my sister-in-law left work and went accompanied me to my appointments. And I know one day I was alone for chemo. My sister said she's coming and she came later. And Pastor Peter, I cried because I felt so alone.
Wow. Yeah, you need the support, man.
So I just want to encourage everyone, to get the support. And don't rely on your pap smear. I had pap smear in December, and in January they found my fallopian tube with cancer, filled with cancer. So the pap smear, it takes a smear of your cervix. That's it. So for you to know what is going on inside, ask for a transvaginal sonogram or an abdominal sonogram.
Right.
And yes, Pastor Peter.
No, I'm saying I'm saying to them, make sure they write it down. Write down the information. So you won't forget it when you get to your GYN or wherever you gotta go. You won't forget it. Write down the information. Tell them again, Sharmin.
You can request a transvaginal sonogram or an abdominal sonogram. And the CA125 is the blood test that actually identifies the protein that is like the tumor marker for cancer, especially ovarian or breast. If you have relatives that died or were diagnosed and they were close relatives with ovarian or breast cancer, you can actually request the BRCA1 and the BRCA2 test. And if you need them to further analyze the BRCA1 or 2, that was the word I was looking for, for further analysis, you can request the letter test. And the letter breaks down the results of the BRCA1 and 2.
There was something that you were supposed to explain. Did you get into that?
I did.
Since we're in our final 20 minutes to go. Yeah, but I mean, folks, the phone lines are open. 718-342-0510. 718-342-0510. I think I say it too fast. The phone lines are open. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your thoughts. Were you informed before we get off the air? Is there any other information that you would like to know on this subject?
Otri said, and I'm going to read it. And if they do not find anything and you are sure that something is not right, do not be ashamed to ask for an exploratory surgery. Listen to your body. And now, today, Pastor Peter, you get an exploratory surgery, unless you were like me that were covered with scar tissues, you don't have to have all these scars because they do a laparoscopic surgery, which is just an incision in the navel, in your belly button, and 3 or 4 little incision like a half moon around your abdomen, where they just put a little camera to look into your abdomen. That's the surgery. It's not like they're going to cut you from your breastplate right down and then you have all these staples and whatever. No.
Right.
It's just to get the camera in there to see it. So if you're sure that something is going on, I'm trying to get my friend's sister. I wish she can come. She has been diagnosed, Pastor Peter, with 5 different cancer and survived.
Right.
Hold up. 12 abdominal surgery that now she cannot get another surgery on her abdomen.
Wow.
And she gets up and go to work every day. And when you see her, she always have a smile on her face. I'm begging her to come on the show.
Wow.
She will not even call the word cancer.
I agree.
5 different diagnoses of cancer.
Wow.
And cannot get another abdominal surgery.
What more can I say than God is great? Thank God for her, man. 718-342-0510 is the number. 718-342-0510. Get your calls in. Don't wait till the last minute. Remember, you guys always do that. You wait till the last minute. Don't wait till the last minute because we're going to be wrapping up in the last minute. So 718-342-0510. You heard Sharmin share her story. You heard Otrice. I got it. I got it this time. You heard Susie share her story. And I mean it's pretty interesting because we sometimes we don't even think about these things. We go about our merry business and we don't think about these things. And some women, I can't see some of us because I'm a man. So some of you females might be walking around with this thing. I'm thinking it's something just ordinary that, it's just a normal stomach pain. I always get this gas pain, and you don't want to go check it out further, but you should go check it out further because you hear these ladies, man, and I really commend these ladies for their bravery of talking about this openly. Because so many people are going through their thing and they're trying to suffer. They're suffering in silence. And as Sharmin says, let your family know, because you need your family support. We all need support. No man is island, no man stand alone. We need support.
Pastor Peter, about 12% of women in the general population will develop breast cancer during their lives.
Wow.
55 to 65% of women who inherit a harmful BRCA1 mutation, and about 45% of women who inherit a harmful BRCA2 mutation will develop breast cancer by age 70. Listen to this. About 1.3% of women in the general population will develop ovarian cancer sometime during their lives. 39% of women who inherit a BRCA1 mutation, and 11 to 17% of women who inherit a BRCA2 mutation will develop ovarian cancer by age 70. So the BRCA1, when you do the BRCA1 and 2 tests, it's a marker for ovarian and it's a marker for breast. And it also says that harmful mutations in BRCA1 and BRCA2 increase the risk of several cancers in addition to breast and ovarian cancer. BRCA1 mutation may increase a woman's risk of developing fallopian tube cancer and peritoneal cancer. Men, hear this? Hold on.
Okay.
Pastor Peter, sit up.
Let me sit up. All right.
Men with BRCA2 mutations and to a lesser extent BRCA1 mutations are also at increased risk of breast cancer. Men with harmful BRCA1 or BRCA2 mutations have a higher risk of prostate cancer. So, with the BRCA, for us, Pastor Peter, we will know if we how predisposed we are to breast and ovarian. When you guys take it, it can tell you about your prostate, and of course men do get breast cancer. So you're not exempt.
Yeah, because once you pass the age of 40, the doctor already tell you, you gotta get a prostate test. So, for all my brothers out there, you'd think it was only the women, because we're discussing ovarian and fallopian tube cancer. So you see where it comes down to that test, what do you call it, the BRCA?
Yeah, BRCA.
1 and 2. BRCA 1 and 2 tests. If you're over the age of 40 or around the age of 40, I suggest you should ask your doctor for that test. Maybe even younger, because this thing comes young too. It is not just for 40 and over, it comes young too. As I was looking at that stat earlier with the ovarian cancer, I mean, imagine 20,000 people.
And you don't hear anything about it.
You know? Not a word. Wow. It is so alarming. I mean, what you call it, the silent killer?
I just want to read it. A negative test result can be more difficult to understand than a positive result. And this is for the BRCA 1 and 2. Because what the result means depends on part on an individual family history of cancer and whether a BRCA 1 or BRCA 2 mutation has been identified in a blood relative. So for Abby, you should also go and take the BRCA 1 and 2 tests.
Yeah,
your children, your sister, children are safe with your sister test. If a close, like a first or second degree relative of the tested person is known to carry a harmful BRCA 1 or 2 mutation, a negative result is clear. It means that that person does not carry the harmful mutation that is responsible for the familial cancer and thus cannot pass it on to their children. Such a test result is called a true negative. A person with such a test result is currently thought to have the same risk of cancer as someone in the general population.
Interesting.
And you can find this information on www.cancer.gov.
You got that? www.cancer.gov.
And one of the, like the one with the statistics and the signs, I actually got that from, I think, Fox News and the CA125 information. I got it from webmd.com.
WebMD is a very nice website.
Yeah, but it could be misleading because every time something happened to you, you run to WebMD.
Look
Instead
at
of
your
your
own
doctor,
diagnostic.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Come on, 718. We have 50 minutes more.
50 minutes to go. 718-342-0510 is the number. That's 718-342-0510. As we were talking about ovarian cancer and fallopian tube cancer. Sounds funny me saying it, right? But you know what? It's important for both male and female, because you know some of us we have daughters, we have sisters, you know, we have nieces, you know, we have cousins. You know, you don't want to see your family member go through those things, you know. And if you have the information to pass it on to them, because you may know of symptoms that they have, as Sharmin was describing, and it might look like your regular monthly menstruation, yes, symptoms that you would have, you know, with the cramps and the bloating and the pains and all those things. But it's also signs of ovarian cancer that you should go get checked out. All right, 718-342-0510 is the number. That's 718-342-0510. Let us know, what do you think? Were you informed? Were you educated? Did you get information? And if you got information, what are you going to do with that information too? We want to know what you're going to do with the information that you receive also. 718-342-0510. 718-342-0510. I gotta play Sharmin song before we get out of here though.
I took off one of my masks today.
Yeah, she said she dropped one of the masks today. I bet it felt good, huh? Don't forget the Women's Empowerment Conference. No more masks. That's Women's Empowerment Conference. No more masks. It will be held at the JFK Hilton Tribeca Room. Contact information, you gotta call 718-506-8255. That's 718-506-8255.
You are caught up in yourself. Your pride blood up to your head. You are fake to wealth and life, and it's hurting you inside.
Yeah, that's right, ladies. It's time for you to remove the mask that you wear to disguise the way you feel and think. The intensity of this conference will motivate you to identify and remove the mask you wear, so you can embrace your authentic self and live in your truth. 718-342-0510. That's funny, my doctor is calling me.
You're in everybody's business. You neglect your own. You are hurting inside, but you're hiding with a smile. No one knows your problem, so you think it's alright. You think that driving big cars, living in certain neighborhoods, will make you very significant in the eyes of your friends. No, we wanna see your big smile, but behind your soul mask, you are hiding your tears. You've been hurting for years and years. Unmask the masquerade. Show us who you
Yeah, don't forget the Women's Empowerment Conference. No more masks. That's September 24th
unmask the mask.
from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Hilton at JFK Tribeca Room.
Show me who you are.
Call 718-506-8255. I don't want to fill you up with too much information. I'm giving you enough that you can take in right now. So contact 718-506-8255. 8255. Get your tickets early while they're still there.
God wants to heal you right now, right now. Take off your masquerade, a masquerade. Show us who you are, show us who you are. Show me who you are, a masquerade. Show us who you are, show us who you are. Show me who you are. I wanna know who you are. I wanna know who you are. And tell them
You got 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
I wanna see who you are. I wanna know who you are. You are. I'm past the masquerade. Show us who you are. Show us who you are. Show me who you are. I'm past the masquerade. Show us who you are.
Yeah, that's right. Every Monday evening, right here on Vibes Up Radio. Yes, Vibes Up Radio HD. You know, I was just thinking about this light here. You know, I'm looking at the studio. The studio look like sunlight outside. It feels so bright. I don't know. To you? Yeah, it was just like, well, wait a minute. It's 9 o'clock already. The place so bright. But just realizing where we are. All right, so we're gonna wrap up because we only got about 4 minutes left. 5 minutes. So, Sharmin.
I just want to thank the people on the live feed: Benita, Tracy, Joelle, Elmi, Otrice, and Susie. Thank you for calling in and sharing your story. Otrice says her mom is listening. Hello, Miss Shirley Ellis. Thank you for tuning in, and we're here every Monday. Sharon James, Maitland, Yolanda, Anita, Marvin Hendy. Oh, that's one of my classmates from school. My Ride and Die Petal, thank you. Deadly. Simone, thank you for sharing that story. Eartha. Fitzroy, Abby, thank you for calling in. DJ Andrew, thank you. And everyone else, if I forgot to, of course, Boss Lady. If I forgot to acknowledge you, I'm so sorry, but I missed the feed. Thank you, Brother Earl. We can always count on your support for calling in. Yep. Despite Ricky didn't call it in. Good night, Ricky. I know that you're listening.
Yep, we know that.
And thank you. And guys, thank you for allowing me to boohoo. Thank you. I didn't know that I would have been able to make it through the show and share my story. I know my mom is listening. Mom, thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support. And I'm sure my sisters are listening too. Jenny, Shondell, maybe Marlene. Thank you guys for your continued support. If it was not for you, I would not have made it through OVAC. And, to all my OVAC sisters, may the souls of those that we lost, that was unable to win the battle with ovarian cancer, may their soul rest in peace.
French. That's your relative? Actually, they're from my village back home. Okay, Larry Kingdom, Pastor Gil Monrose. Hey, Pastor Gil, we gotta link up, man. I gotta get you in here where we're gonna do some topic about what's going on in our community and different things. My niece Michelle D, Damian DeSamis, Alita Brown, my niece over in Guyana, Miss Shanette. Who else he got? Miss Mona Dell, Dwayne Alex, Janelle Robertson, Marlon Day, Joanna Vansel, Terrence Anthony, Jimmy Douglas, my brother Rohan Apache. Oh, I saw my wife tune into a boss lady all over the place. Mr. Sam Mitchell, Mr. Paul Lewis, to all of you that tune in on our live feeds, we thank you. Thank you very much for your support. This is Vibes Up Radio. You can keep it locked.
Thank you for Samantha. Samantha, thank you for your support. She sent me messages and say, you got this. Thank you for having that confidence. I thought I would have fought, I would not have been able to make it through, but I did. And I didn't fake it, so I didn't mask up. I took off my mask, and I'm not a crier. I, don't get emotional too easily, but I did, because this is dear to me, and this is the first time that I actually spoke about it publicly. So I want to thank you guys for affording me the opportunity to be myself, and not come here and pretend that, Miss Sharmin got it all together. Miss Sharmin is a work in progress, and Miss Sharmin had a lot of experiences with a lot of stuff. So I really want to thank you guys for allowing me and opening your arms to me. So again, before we go past Peter, ladies, if you are predisposed to breast cancer or ovarian cancer, meaning that if you had close family relatives that were diagnosed with ovarian or breast cancer, go to your doctor. If it's ovarian cancer, request a transvaginal sonogram or an abdominal sonogram, and maybe you can even request the CA125. It's a blood test that shows that it's a tumor marker. Also, if you had more than 2 or 3 female relatives with those cancers, request a BRCA1, BRCA1, BRCA2 test, and it would show if you have the mutation, and it would safeguard you. So thank you for listening, guys. And if you need, Pastor Peter, did you realize that every week I'm here, I have never announced my conference? Every time I walk out, I'm like, oh my God. And Saturday is the Women's Empowerment Conference, our 3rd year at the Hilton JFK Airport. It starts at 9:30 and it ends at 4:30. The theme is No More Mask. We're going to, do some self-discovery exercises and start unraveling our mask. I know that we're going to have a good time. Tickets are $50, or to enter is $50. And you can call me at 718-506-8255. If you know of anyone that wants to attend the conference and can't afford it, call me at 718-506-8255. I have friends who are unable to attend, and like someone called me today and said, I can't make it, but I'll sponsor someone. So call me at 718-506-8255. Thank you, and God bless you all.
But before we go, you want to preview next week? What we're doing next week? Or
well, next week, let me just read it. Next week is the last Monday of the month, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so, Pastor Peter. 19 and 7 is 26. It's 30 days of the month, yeah. Next week, I am going to have a guest, and we will be talking about hyper incarceration and the impact on families and the community. Again, Pastor Peter, hyper incarceration and the impact on families and the community. Because we all deal with it. Somebody in your relative or whomever have faced some form of incarceration, and we're going to discuss the impact on the family and the community. And I'm going to be bringing in one of the experts.
Okay. So, tune in next week. Don't forget, same time, same place, Vibes Up Radio on your dial, Vibes Up Radio HD. So whether we're streaming live on Facebook, or you can download the app, just go to vibesupradio.com HD. vibesupradio.hd.com. All right. Lord, we thank you tonight for Jesus Christ, oh God. We thank you, God, for the opportunity once more, oh God, Father God, where we can reach your people, oh God, Father God, to give them information, oh God, Father God, that will give them a better understanding, oh Lord, of some of the things that we go through in our everyday life. Father, I pray right now, oh God, that you will touch every heart, every mind, and every soul, oh God. Father God, those who are discouraged, that you will encourage them, oh God. Bring healing to their hearts, oh God. Bring healing to their minds, to their body, and their soul and spirit, oh God. Touch them, oh God, in their everyday life, oh God. Guide and protect them, oh God. Cover them with your blood, oh God, Father God. And guide and protect them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Before we go, let me read this last one. Someone said, thanks for the information. This is Ann Allen, my godmother's sister. Very emotional for me. My niece passed from ovarian cancer. If she only had this information, maybe she would have still be here. And listeners, don't let an aunt, a sister, or your mother have to say that. We just give you the information. Utilize it. God bless you all.
That's right. God bless.